Hello, I'm Keith Richard, Master Casting Instructor with Fly Fishers International. And I'm here today in conjunction with A Hero USA to talk to you a little bit about the history of fly fishing. Now, fly fishing goes back a long way. It can be documented. Some of the first fishing took place back 300 BC in China. The first book written about fly fishing, actually it was in the 1400s. And it was about the 1800s when they started using horsehair and silk woven together to create different tapers and weights of fly lines to be able to cast their flies. You know, in fly casting, you're not casting the lure, you're casting the line, and the lure goes along for the ride. The flies are typically so light in weight that they're not able to carry the line along with it like in traditional casting. Bait casting and spin casting reels would work. But horsehair and silk again was used about the 1800s, and it wasn't until after World War II that fly fishing really took off because of the scarcity in materials. The material just wasn't available, and but after World War II, nylon became readily available, and so fishing really started to take off at that time. And it was around 1949 when PVC was first introduced to make fly lines. They incorporate PVC around an inner core of monofilament. That monofilament might be braided monofilament, or it might be a single strand of monofilament, depending on the species and the intent of the fly line. So they coat it with either PVC or polyurethane. And in 1952 was that they started tapering the fly lines to give different actions of the fly line to the fly. They learned that by tapering the fly line, they could present the fly more delicately on the water, or they could present bigger flies, such as big bass bugs, and get them delivered and get the line to turn over and land the way they wanted it to land on the water. Tournament casters are very abusive to fly lines and fly rods because they're using such heavy rods and long rods, and so Kevlar was introduced into the fly lines to make them really, really strong. As far as governing bodies in the realm of fly fishing, the American Fishing Tackle Manufacturers Association, or AFMA, governs a lot of the characteristics of fly lines, such as what constitutes a fly line of a line weight number 1 or 2 or 3 all the way up to 15 or 16. And so that gives you a little bit about the history of fly fishing, why we fly fish. There are probably as many different explanations of that as there are fly fishermen. Personally, I get a lot of enjoyment out of the scenery that it takes us to. Although you can fly fish anywhere there's water. Of late, I've gotten just as much enjoyment out of teaching fly casting to my students as I have fishing. So the fishing has kind of become secondary. You'll have your own reasons for taking up the sport, and I wish you well. Again, along with A Hero USA, I'm Keith Richard, Master Casting Instructor and owner of the Camp Fly Fishing School. Tight lines and tighter loops.